kinda like Bocchi the Rock. I don't know, I guess you could say I'm a little obsessed with it. Well, I mean, obsession is a strong word, and I don't think of myself as a very obsessive person. Like, I like collecting things, sure, but does that constitute a word as strong as obsession? It's ridiculous. I can like an anime without being labeled with a word like that. A word with such negative connotations, like I'm some sort of freak or something. No, I'm totally normal. Surely. Bocchi the Rock aired in winter of 2022, a show about a socially inept guitarist who longs to make connections and be seen by others. It's just a school band show, a K-On! Ripoff, right? I mean, come on, what do people see in this anime anyway? The anime man thinks it's lame, so...
Bocchi the Rock, I fucking hate. It's just a K-On! Clone, bro.
Why have I listened to Kesoku band songs almost every day for nearly 2 years straight? Why have I cosplayed maid Bocchi, band shirt Bocchi, tracksuit Bocchi? Why does this shrine to the anime series exist in my house? Why do I even like it? Why do I find myself with 3 friends at the AMC Theater on October 6th about to see the Bocchi the Rock recap movie? Let's rewind a little. I fell in love with the show when it was airing, although I was a little late to the party. I didn't start watching it until most of the show had already aired, save for the last couple episodes. I loved the directing, mixed media elements, characters, voice acting, music, holy shit the music. It's easily the best music I've heard from a fictional anime band. I like K-On's music, sure, but it doesn't hit the same way. Each Kesoku band song feels like a statement, and they just keep increasing the quality as time goes on. I'm definitely not as socially awkward as Bocchi is, but I kinda used to be. I had a really hard time making friends throughout middle school and was genuinely a loner who spent all of my time online instead of interacting with the real world. I saw myself in her through that lens, but also I related to her passion. Instead of doing activities throughout middle school and high school, I sunk all of my free time into drawing, because that's the way I was able to express myself. Bocchi did that through her guitar, but it's more or less the same concept. I never expected to like the show as much as I did. I only gave it a try because I saw how popular it was at the time of airing, and thought Bocchi's character design was cute. But I quickly realized that this anime had shot up in the ranks, easily reaching 2nd place in Mimiori's greatest anime of all time list, resting proudly underneath Fruits Basket 2001, which will never be dethroned. Fast forward to now, and I'm surrounded by Bocchi every day. My favorite Kesoku band songs are Kara Kara, Unite, Into the Light, If I Could Be a Constellation, and Never Forget. Although I love every song put out by Kesoku Band. I have multiple Bocchi figures, keychains, plushies, artwork, clothing, cosplay CDs, and more. My best friend Dylan also shares a love for the show, touting all sorts of merch in her room as well. Her favorite character is Kita, as you can see by her purse. When the Bocchi recap movie was announced, Bocchi the Rock Re, in Japan, I was super excited. Bocchi is such a popular show with tons of new merchandise being made, new songs being produced, and now a recap movie? Even though they haven't announced it yet, it's pretty obvious that the team at Cloverworks is working diligently on a season 2. I honestly never expected US theaters to show the movie, so when the news came out that it was, my soul ascended into Bocchi heaven. Dylan and I marked our calendars and kept our schedule completely open for the month of October. And before we knew it, the day was upon us. We woke up, got into full cosplay, and jumped in the car. Temu Nijika joined us too. We headed to Dunkin' and got some drinks for the road. The iced coffee wasn't the greatest, but that comes with the territory when you decide to get Dunkin'. Then we drove about an hour to the AMC theater where we could see the Bocchi movie, and also where we would meet up with the last member of our group. After a long drive of exclusively listening to Kesoku band songs and shittily singing along to them, we arrived at the Promised Land. That is, the sacred temple where we would watch Bocchi the Rock on the silver screen. But it wasn't quite time for the movie yet, so we met up with our fourth member. One could even say the Ryo of our group. She says from Boundary Break. The Ryo of our group.
I don't know what that means yet.
You'll know what it means, because we
really
got
hope
Nijika, we got BoKita the Rock, we've got Bocchi the Rock, and now we have Ryo the Rock, the final member of the team.
No, she's cool.
He had never seen anything Bocchi related before, so this was going to be his first exposure to the series. I wonder what his thoughts will be after the film. Together, we decided to pop into a Goodwill and see if we could find anything interesting there. We walked around the whole store in full cosplay, proudly displaying our allegiance to the Bocchi conglomerate, totally not being annoying weeb anime fans and freaking out the normal people just trying to buy clothes. Sadly, we didn't find anything of note in the thrift store, so Bocchi and Kita left empty-handed. Luckily, right next door was a Ross, and we still had time to kill, so we all headed inside. Bocchi and Kita had the time of their lives in this Ross, and even managed to find some cool things. Again, we were definitely not being annoying anime fans in public, touting a camera around. That would be absolutely insane and weird. Nijika bought us the cool stuff we found, and we left the store, realizing that the time had finally come to head into the theater. The day I've been waiting for.
Right.
Basically my whole life, it feels like.
Joker 2 and Megalopolis
No!
double
Bocchi the
feature.
Rock recap movie! We went into the theater and claimed our tickets. I admired the beauty of the words Bocchi the Rock printed on the AMC receipt. We went through the ticket check and went to get some snacks for the film. We brought our own special Ghostbusters popcorn bucket, which you may remember from the Evangelion movie review. Since this theater had a Coke freestyle machine, I was able to make a very special concoction. Here's a tutorial on how to make the Bocchi pink drink. Okay, I'm gonna get the special Bocchi pink drink, alright? Not the Starbucks one, the Bocchi one. Starts off with Sprite Lemonade, alright? But first I gotta get ice, obviously. You don't want too much ice. Sprite Lemonade. About 1/5. And then you go to Fanta, and you get cherry Fanta. About fill it up to half. And then we're gonna get
Do you know what you're doing?
yes. The recipe starts with a little ice, 1/5 Sprite Lemonade, then fill it up to half with cherry Fanta. Then fill the rest with normal lemonade and normal Sprite. Trust me, it's delicious. Then Kita showed off her special drink for the movie.
We're gonna get the BoKita the Rock, I think. So here's my drink. Okay.
Normal Sprite. Just Sprite. I then checked in on She Says to see what snack he got before the movie, which were these dubious looking pretzel bun sliders. They looked like they would boundary break my stomach and give me diarrhea. We were about to go into the movie when suddenly Nijika had an announcement to make.
before we go into the theater, Nijika has to PGika.
Imagine you're dying of thirst like the Kendrick Lamar song, and you finally make it to your local AMC to use their water fountain, only to see the water fountain is completely covered by a crane game filled with Minecraft Steve.
After that, finally, we headed into the theater where we would watch the movie. We had to sit through a lot of ads, but it was okay because I knew it was almost time.
You guys decided Bocchi?
I'm Nijika.
Then, all of a sudden, the theater went dark and some familiar logos flashed on the screen. The movie had started. There's something so deeply ingrained within people. The fear of putting yourself out there only to be judged and laughed at. Humans have evolved to go with the crowd, not stick out, and keep harmony with each other. Change could be dangerous, something different might disrupt the flow. It's better to just coast along and not think about lofty dreams or being in the spotlight. Bocchi is very judgmental, mostly towards herself. She fears upsetting people, she fears being unpopular or unwanted. She's naturally a withdrawn person, even though deep inside she craves validation from others. Bocchi started playing guitar so she could finally express herself and make others notice her. In her own words, have people go crazy over me. Instead of performing, though, she spent her whole middle school life holed up in her room, getting more and more skilled at guitar and less skilled at communicating. It's almost like the guitar was a hindrance since she focused on it more than actually trying to make friends. In the long-term goal of becoming a popular musician, she built an even tighter wall around herself in the short term. No one will walk up to you and ask to be friends just because you carry a guitar around. That's ridiculous. Nijika blasted right through the barrier like it was nothing, shattering Bocchi's world completely. Unable to refuse and listening to that small voice in her heart that desperately wanted to be in a band, she agreed to help out Nijika on request. The rest is history. Nijika as a character answers the question, what if you find people who want to see you shine? A shared dream between 4 girls, all with different reasons for why they show up to practice their instruments, but a shared goal. An unbreakable bond fastened in their hearts, a zip tie, a promise to never give up or stop dreaming of something bigger than themselves. After they passed the test to determine if Kesoku Band was allowed to continue playing at Starry, we got an intermission, so I got up to pee. It's so good. It's actually like peak fiction. So it's the intermission now. What are your thoughts so far, even though it's not over yet?
I didn't think it would be so relatable. I didn't think I'd relate.
You
so
relate
much
to Bocchi?
a pink-haired anime girl. Wow, I never thought. But yeah, I could totally see a lot of like myself in those characters, and also just I love the passion for music, and it really does kind of get that like, underground band kind of vibe, and what kind of goes into like making the band stuff. I think it's really cool so far. So I'm excited to see what the other half is, and yeah.
I'll get your final thoughts then.
Final thoughts then.
So what are your thoughts on the intermission so far?
The intermission?
Yeah, like you've seen Bocchi, but do you have any new thoughts on the show from seeing the movie so far? No?
I think it's pretty good for a recap movie.
Can you do the pose? Something that caught me by surprise was how integral Kita and Bocchi's relationship is to the plot of Season 1. I remember bits and pieces from my first watch, but this movie really highlights the dynamic of BoKita as integral to the story, whether you see them as just good friends or more than friends. Bocchi and Kita have such a wonderful opposites attract relationship that I love to see in media. Bocchi is shy, bad at socializing, and never finds herself in the spotlight. On the other hand, Kita is extroverted, friendly, and everyone she meets loves how bright she shines. But both of them are deeply insecure, so they have a commonality there. Bocchi is insecure because she can't make any friends due to her social anxiety and self-consciousness. While Kita is insecure because she doesn't think she has any special talents or passion. Kita envies Bocchi's talent at playing guitar, and Bocchi envies Kita's popularity. They both see the good qualities in each other that they don't see in themselves, which is really important for a couple. Through their friendship, they can guide each other into being more complete people, finding that security they both crave. Kita helps Bocchi by sort of pushing her out of her comfort zone, like when she turns in the form for the school festival against Bocchi's will. In the end, performing at that festival was a huge milestone for Bocchi, and it wouldn't have happened without Kita's interference. Conversely, Bocchi inspires Kita to work even harder at getting good at playing guitar because Kita adores the passion that Bocchi puts into her music. Bocchi gives Kita guitar lessons throughout most of Season 1, which really help jumpstart Kita's ability. And at their performance in the school festival, Kita was able to do an impromptu riff after practicing more with Ryo due to wanting to get better and catch up to Bocchi. Both of them become better people when they're together, the hallmark of a great couple. I was really able to pick up on this relationship more while watching the movie in theaters, and the more I think about Bocchi and Kita, the more I adore them. Seemingly the most grounded and stable member of the group, just like the base itself, Ryo finds no issue in expressing herself despite a more low-key and introverted disposition. She was a huge component of Bocchi's character growth in Season 1, pushing her to write soulful lyrics rather than superficial ones. Ryo's backstory is that she used to be the bassist for a somewhat popular indie band, but she quit after they started changing their lyrics to have a wider appeal and less individuality to them. Being unique, or even weird, is so extremely important to Ryo. She finds joy in going against the crowd and finding her own style. So, when Bocchi approaches her with bland lyrics written to have mass appeal, Ryo tells Bocchi to write what she wants to write about, no matter how dark and emotional the lyrics are. This inspires Bocchi to write Guitar, Loneliness, and Blue Planet, Kesoku Band's first single. Being in Kesoku Band helps Bocchi become a better version of herself, and that goes for all the girls. Finding the people you can connect with is the most freeing thing, letting you express yourself without fear of being judged. I'm incredibly excited to see how all of them keep getting developed into Season 2. I remember seeing the anime for the very first time, and the sight of Starry blasted me back to when I was in high school, being lucky enough to take a trip with my Japanese class to Japan. Somehow, with my host family, I was able to attend one of those underground music venues, and I'll never forget how magical it was. It was such a dark, cramped space, but it felt like everyone was connected by the music. It didn't matter that I didn't really speak the language well or how out of place I was. I was still able to be part of the crowd, just enjoying the performances. My favorite band was the one that my host sister was a part of, so that's why I'm censoring her, but specifically this song, with the clapping, it really just felt surreal. I know live music isn't just a Japan thing, but I don't think many tourists end up going to these underground venues similar to Starry, unless you're like a huge music nerd. So it felt really special to me, and when I saw Kesoku Band in the anime, I felt that feeling again. It's hard to put into words how much this anime actually means to me, but it really is something special. The movie was a huge reminder of how much I love every single second of Bocchi the Rock. It's truly a fantastic show, and I'm sure I'll continue to be a huge fan of it throughout the rest of my life. The movie ends, the credits roll, and we leave the theater. When we left, someone was waiting for us to take a picture with them, so we did, which was really sweet. Then we stepped outside, and because this was his first exposure to Bocchi, I asked She-Says what he thought of it.
So final thoughts, I thought it was really good. It was a nice slice of life story that has a lot of relatability to it. I love the premise. I do love like the respect that they have towards the idea of like an underground band and getting it together and stuff like that. And I like that it was through the perspective of a bunch of teenage girls. It's not something you usually see in any media, so it was kind of nice to have a little bit of a change of pace with that. So I really liked it.
Final score.
11 out of 10.
Yes! Bocher! We then split up, getting into separate cars, but deciding to meet up at P.F. Chang's for dinner. Unfortunately, Bocchi gets lost in the back rooms. Where does it end? Oh my god, I've been walking here for years! It's so scary! Finally, after 10 years of walking, I've finally reached the end of the back rooms. Bocchi the Rock saved me, and I guess Nijika's here too. I guess I don't know. Nijika, where's your bow?
I left it in the car.
Oh my god. We walk in the busy downtown area towards the restaurant in full cosplay, past tons of business people. It was awesome. This is why I love America, because I'm wearing a fucking pink wig and no one gives a shit. We just walked by a group of like business people and they didn't even look at us. Like they don't care. They don't even care. We found P.F. Chang's and sat down to eat. Nijika and I shared some crab rangoon, but I didn't film much else there. It was pretty good, but also pretty expensive. Being in cosplay is incredibly taxing on the body, so I just wanted to go home and crawl into bed. When we left P.F. Chang's, the group got one last picture together before parting ways. It was time to go home, so we drove past the sparkling lights of the city, and I thought about how lucky I was to have these friends to see the movie with. Like I said before, I didn't always have these connections. I was a really lonely kid growing up, and I found it incredibly difficult to make any friends at all, much less lasting friendships. I have this memory from 8th grade, at my breaking point, friendless and forced to attend a brand new school, where I stepped outside in the middle of the night and just stared at the moon. I asked her to help me feel okay since it was hard to imagine things getting any better. Now I can look at the moon, confident that things will always work out, no matter how bad things get. I was surrounded with people who want to see me shine, and who I want to see shine, just like Kesoku Band. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I have even more anime-related videos coming out very soon. And if you don't like the vlog format, don't worry, because this is more of a every once in a while type video. Thank you so much for watching.
"あなたは不思議なことに